By the way, just hit start streaming.
Oh, hey guys. Good to see y'all. No, I'm probably the only one in the room, so I can see the chat.
Probably at the moment. We just hit live.
Ah,
God,
oh,
today already feels long. Like, it feels like I've been awake forever, just for the stream to start. But it's obviously, I think it's because I'm waking up at 8:30 every day. Um, like even on weekends. Probably because
why?
I don't know.
What?
Because lady friend wants me to go to bed. Like, sorry, she um needs to go to bed by 11 usually because of her work schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So I've deemed it important that her and I go to bed together. She's like, no, you can stay up. We have this room divider that blocks the light from my computer. But I'm like, no, I think it's important that we lay in bed together and all that stuff. And so I've been going to bed at 11 every day, and I only need so much sleep. So, I mean, when she leaves for work, I just get up and play some games before I go into work.
Well, it's very considered. I think that's very conducive to a healthy relationship.
I hope so. I
Me, on
like
the
this
other hand,
relationship.
I woke up like 5 minutes ago.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right, so are we doing the same password, the whole shindig?
Yeah.
All right,
I'm gonna
I'm
figure
loading
out
up.
we're where we are. Okay, cool. Hey, Theron. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you. So I guess I had that confusion because I was going to stream Resident Evil 2, and then I started thinking to myself, you know what? I talked about it last week in stream that I wasn't gonna just like jump on that bandwagon, but as the game neared and neared, I was like, I just really want to play it. Like, I really do want to play it. And Lady Friend's been asking if we can get like the computer onto the TV so we can play Call of Cthulhu together, and I was like, wait. I was like, "Hun, do you just want to play Resident Evil together?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, then fuck the stream." So it was. I mean, I don't want to say fuck the stream, but like, it helps me stick to my word too. But I mean, it wasn't bandwagoning at that point. It was just I really wanted to play it, and I didn't realize that I really wanted to play the game until I started like seeing screenshots, and I was like, "Oh, memories of that game. They're real."
All
But yeah,
right.
her and I playing it together, and it's pretty fun. Pretty fun. Buffs up. And
Summon my little army.
might as well just jump right into it. I guess. Oh, hey, crocodile people. Cha, cha. Gotta have a ranged weapon.
Yeah. So, did you ever figure out what happened with the Facebook post having the wrong image and link on it? That one was
No, because
very weird.
I do all my postings for my Facebook page from Chrome because that one is automatically signed into my YouTube Facebook page. And so I went onto my personal account, which is through Firefox, and I saw the link to like the thumbnail to this game.
That's
I
the
I did the
strangest
Facebook
thing I've seen.
debugger, which is what I've been using to essentially make the links and thumbnails and anything I alter on stream to update for Facebook. And I don't know, when I posted this link on Discord, it also posted this game. Though you and another friend of mine was like, "Oh, you're doing Resident Evil 2." I was like, "No, that was canceled." He's like, "Well, this Titan Quest one says Resident Evil 2." I was like, "Son of a cheese."
Very strange little hiccup, but it definitely half me bamboozled. I'm like, did we change the medium? Are we playing a different game this week? I don't have
No.
equipment for this.
Yeah. Actually, since I've been playing that game with Lady Friend, I was like, shit, I suck with a controller. And so today I just loaded up Leon and was playing with the mouse, and I was like, I can hit things in the head. It's so great.
Yeah, it's a rough transition for anybody who gets into the habit, because I know I seriously struggle with the mouse and keyboard.
So Therion
Oh,
just
that's right.
said
I'm a
he
healer.
posted on Major's side of Discord for this. Thank you for that, by the way. And it's still saying Resident Evil. I mean, if I'm right though, the thumbnail says let's co-op Titan Quest, right? But the image itself shows Resident Evil, which is weird because I changed that yesterday.
I
Technically, the night before. Technically Thursday night.
wish I had an answer.
I think YouTube's just hiccuping or something. It happens. Like, and I've re-uploaded the image again and again. I've even made a new file of the same image, like, you know, gone back into GIMP and exported a new one. But oh well, you know, if someone comes in and says, this isn't fucking Resident Evil, sorry. Sorry. I don't know what to do. YouTube does weird things. I don't know. Oh my god, these things hit like fucking oh, I'm trapped. Like trucks. Please stop being alive, Senor Overseer. What goods are in here? Money! Ring of Reasoning. Sounds like something you'd want.
Don't mind if I do.
At least I think reasoning is intelligence.
You know, it sounds like it would be, but I've been led astray before.
True. Kind of like the Demon Estrella in Demon Souls. Oh, weird reference. No, I've not even really played Demon Souls. I bought it after I really got into the Souls series, and it was just too different for my taste. Just a little too much, and so I didn't play much into it. Because by comparison, Dark Souls 1 is a fucking cakewalk compared to Demon Souls, to my experience. But I think, you know, it comes down to if I were to learn, Demon Souls would probably be the same thing of like I can just kind of usually cakewalk until like I, you know, do some weird fuck up or something. I don't know.
I actually don't have too much experience with Demon Souls. My first one was Dark Souls 3, and that was brought to me by Ragemus and Blueberry, so I'm definitely a novice in that department.
It's weird. People would think it's weird when I say it, but Dark Souls 3 is my least favorite of the
Really?
Souls series. Yeah.
Why is that?
Because I feel like it's in the Bloodborne engine for the enemies, but not for the player character. Like, because in Dark Souls 1 and in 2, you know, you move slow, but so do the enemies, like, by comparison. You know, there's some fast, obviously, but it's how it is, you know, because you're a knight in armor kind of person. But in Bloodborne, you know, you're meant to be quick, because you're not, it's be a game without shields. And so you're meant to be fast, and the enemies are fast, but it's okay, because, you know, combat's fluid and whatnot. Apparently this is just a tiny little cave. Didn't know that. Okay.
Yes, it is.
But
nothing in there.
in Dark Souls 3, I feel like a lot of the enemies are still super fast, and your character's still just as slow as other Dark Souls games. I like the challenge. I think the game is beautiful. Oh, hey, a champion, I think. I think the story is great. The way they progressed the storyline from the first game was fantastic, but just mechanically it doesn't feel right to me half the time. And I guess I don't find the locations as interesting. Like the first time I played it though and went into Anne Orlando, I was like, oh my god, I'm back. It felt so nice. But I don't know. I just don't like it as much. I really enjoyed Dark Souls 2. A lot of people will talk shit about it, but I think the honest reviews accept that it is a different approach to the game. While the first one was, can you parry? The second one is, can you deal with a lot of mobs at one time? And there are plenty of weapons that allow you to do sweeping attacks to deal with a lot of mobs. Then number 3 is this good balance. But again, just mechanically, I really enjoy number 2. I think it's a great game. In some aspects, it's easier than 1. In other aspects, it's harder. Because again, you can really just get overwhelmed by numbers in number 2 more than any of the other games. Because that was one of the challenge mechanics was mobs, and that's fine. While, you know, number 1 was, can you fucking parry? If not, those Black Knights are probably gonna body you. Oh, and hey Anima, good to see you, but good to see you. My stream health is currently on yellow, which I apologize for. I don't know why. So I hope it is not, you know, causing issues. Ooh, Shrine of Experience. Snag this together.
Yes, please. Oh, I love it.
I'm actually not going to be fussed about any chests right now while we have this experience shrine on because, well, optimization. Because we're not doing grinding off screen, so these are the levels we get. And in Diablo 2, that proved to be difficult. Ooh, name.
Was a name.
And yeah, usually in Diablo 2, I do a lot more grinding. Like, I'm level 30 by the end of the game. We were like, I think 23 or something like that, and that proved difficult, you know? Especially on Baal. Like, let me phrase this. I was usually level 30 by Diablo. And I wasn't even level 30 by Baal on that run, so it was different. Plus, I was doing a run I'd never done, so it was just odd to me. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for the most part. Don't think I'll be playing an assassin again, though. Probably not. Or at least not a trapped assassin. I'd really like to try the original build I was going for, which was utilizing finishing blows and martial arts. Would have been cool. Bone Staff of Feasting. Enjoy that, my friend.
Ooh, I hope it's just as delicious as it sounds.
It probably has lifesteal. But if it has energy steal, probably better.
21% leech per attack. 8% of attack damage converted to health on top of that.
Okay, that's not bad. That's survivability.
And its damage is a big boost, but my Lich King gets weaker.
But like a lot weaker or just a little? Like one level weaker?
1 level weaker. We're switching.
Yeah, I was like, you can manage. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure you're still stronger than the Lich King. I think the idea is that you're probably stronger than your summons. But that's not always the case. You know, depending on how much you specialize, I never know. No.
And it also switched me over to cold damage, so I'm no longer shooting vitality damage. That's kind of nice.
That's probably good, because now you can probably slow people too, I assume. From a poison vial at this faces. So chat, how has your week been? Yeah. For me, like I said, was talking to Echo about it, felt long for me. So how about for you lot? Coming in, by the way. Oh hey, a building. Or statue, sorry.
And all of the birds.
Seriously.
I like that they stagger it. They do small enemy counts and higher enemy counts. It really, the variance helps a lot.
Agreed.
Like, you can't just have single target. You have to have a little bit of crowd control in there. Otherwise, the low numbers stack up on you.
Agreed. I dig it. Yeah, I need to remember to use this. God, I'm a trap alone. Also leave me alone.
Is that one the damage trap or the taunting trap?
Damage. One
Oh, the
crossbow,
taunting one
basically.
looks like a scarecrow, huh?
Yeah.
It's all coming back to me. It's
We're
been
getting
a
near
long
Rebirth
week.
Fountain. Oh hey, heavy wooden doors. Alrighty. Temple of Seti. Okay. Hello,
I do
caravan.
believe we reached a new spot.
Keep your goods safe.
I still don't know what this lightning bolt guy does. What's he do?
He's the enchanter.
Oh, gotcha.
Ooh, I got a plus 12 intelligence ring. Do you want that?
Sure, let's compare it to the stats, see what I have.
Also, I'm gonna drop a, actually, can you even use it? Never mind, it's 186 strength requirement for this armor, so I'm just pretty certain you can't use it.
Yep, those are all yours.
Staffs, potions. By your leave, don't dawdle.
Huh. 24% life leech would be pretty nice. Week's been good to some D&D on Thursday. My monk is almost too good in combat for level 3. Nothing wrong with that. Don't worry though, like every character and class, they will have a fall-off point where someone else in the party will become better, and then you go back and forth. You know how Pathfinder D&D works.
Roads not taken may now be followed.
Your mom can't be followed. Oh, sick burn.
My weapons and armor are simply the best. Look for yourself.
God, I would love to use melee weapons in this game. Like, they just look cool.
I've seen a couple short swords that have definitely piqued my interest, but they're way outside my strength realm.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. We got a new quest update. Search for the Telking in the Valley of Kings. Oh, okay, found the portal. We only have one portal left. I see hyenas on the outside of the gate. Game on them.
Doing a quick check, see if there's any gear I can upgrade to. A little bit of regeneration wouldn't hurt.
It looks like we can either go east, but also maybe north. I'm gonna find out.
Alright, as it turns out, nothing good for me.
Never mind. To the northwest is a locked gate, so we can go east. That is it.
Where did you find a town portal? I'd like to see that guy real quick.
Town portal's just a thing.
Found it.
Yeah, looks like we're going this way. I'm gonna put my heal over time on, just in case, because it's quite nice to have. At least I think so. My monk is a skill that makes an unarmed attack do d10 fire damage and boosts the range of attacks by 10 feet until the end of my turn. How often can you increase his range, though, is my question. However, I will say fire damage is great until you fight a fire giant or a salamander. Then it's like, oh, cool. Doesn't hurt them. Or can you, like, turn that off to where it only goes back to being just physical damage? Because there are feats like that in Pathfinder as well, which is really fun. Elemental Fist. I like to take Elemental Fist multiple times so I can do... Because when you take the feat, Elemental Fist, you choose your element. And I often choose Lightning, because not a lot of things resist that in the early CRs. But over time, I like to take more to get, like, Cold. And then there are feats that can build off. Like, if you do Cold damage, you can also do this or that. Or if you do Lightning damage, you can also do this or that. So there are cool ways to make a monk incredibly versatile. And I enjoy it. You ever played D&D or Pathfinder, Echo?
You know, I've always had the interest, but I've never had the crowd. So no, I have not.
Fair enough. Oh, and gotcha. Key points, that makes all the sense. Oh my god, heal me! Up! Stop! Dying! Thank you!
Totally wasn't paying attention. I looked at chat for 2 seconds.
They hit way too hard. Hey look, zombies. Mirsiga Ridge. Afternoon, Mage. As you saw, Mage, I decided to not stream Resident Evil and instead played it with Lady Friend, but I have started watching yours. I only got through the first half of the first episode because busy, unfortunately, and I don't want to watch it like as a side view. I want to just watch it. But so far, dude, so good. Loving it. And I'm with you as well, Mage. Straight males, why not play as Claire? She is quite the good-looking one. Though she looks quite different than I expected. She has I thought she would have a more angular face, because that's how she looked in the original game. So the fact that she has a slightly more rounded face, though it does make her look younger, which I think works because she's supposed to be quite young, you know. But why are those guys glowing red?
I think I want to kill him before I find out.
Agreed. Oh, a champion. Necroma, the enslaved. I'm just gonna...
An aura of ass kicking.
Basically.
Wow, he soaks up all the damage.
I really like how young Leon looks, especially since he's been used in future games to where, like, we've seen the older Leon. It's just it's nice to see that younger model again and to see it so well. Though I will say, they can't do black people very well because that black guy cop you meet, like, he's so pale. Like, I get it, he's been losing blood and stuff, but he looks more ashy than he does look like he's lost blood. Which is strange to me. I'm back on. See if I can actually make it. Oh, cool.
Oh,
These
they hurt.
are mummified hyenas? Yep, they're definitely mummified. That's pretty badass.
Mummified ass kickers. Sweet Jesus, I felt that one.
Let's trap down. It is a weird complaint, but I've also been watching a television show called Continuum, which is a pretty cool sci-fi show from Canada. And when one of the main characters, who's a black dude, is like dying, like they just put this weird, it almost looks like a white spider web over him. And I'm just like, what? Like, it looks terrible. It just looks really terrible. But it's just a thing I've noticed in a lot of graphic engines is they will often have something that, in terms of people looking realistic, fails. However, I'm also quite glad that they didn't go for just like that 100% realistic look in this Resident Evil, that it does still have that video game quality, because I think it looks really good. Because if you're going for like complete realism and you fail, it looks like shit. But I think a game engine that did an amazing job at that really good realism was Horizon Zero Dawn, because let's just be real, that lead protagonist, man, she is quite the looker. She looks incredibly real and leveled. I love that she is imperfect. I love that she has crooked teeth. To me, her having crooked teeth makes her character model. Oh, hey, I found a new dress thingy. 24 dexterity. I mean, yeah. 14% attack speed, 24 dexterity, 10% arm protection, 70% increased projectile speed, and +1 to all skills in hunting. Well, I have a cool skirt now. Energy.
Dropped a couple pieces for you that might be useful. The helm for extra armor, and then the buckler of life is exactly what it sounds like, but neither will help me.
I mean, I think some games deserve a sense of realism. Like, I think, shit, what's that game you're Let's Playing right now, Mage? Something with the girl and the dad. What's it called? I'm sorry. I've not watched much of it because lady friend and I were watching. She's like, I want to play this with you instead. I was like, okay, we can do that. Second, Last of Us. Yeah, that's a game that deserves a great sense of realism, I believe. So, you know, I think it just depends what it is. I think that's because game devs think that that's what we want, and not always the case. No, I don't. And that's the thing. I don't always want realism. Like, if suddenly Dragon Quest VIII came out with a realistic approach, I'd be so pissed. Definitely because a lot of the appeal is that Dragon Ball Z style art, because of who the artist is, obviously. But you know, it's, yeah, I mean, different styles, different games, and it really just depends what it is. Like, Resident Evil 7 had a realistic sense to it, and I think that was really great. But I don't think 2 necessarily serves the same idea. Okay, so you didn't have to go in there, okay?
I don't know where we do have to go.
Well, playing video games is to escape our world, but that doesn't mean it can't be set in our world. I mean, obviously the Resident Evil games take place in a modified version of our world, and I think that's fantastic. And some take place, like this game takes place in our world, just the mythological version of it. But it really just, I think it's to escape our own world. That's why I'm not too into like VR games that are like around, you know, like social VR games. It also obviously is just, you know, what you prefer. But it's a big reason I prefer fantasy over sci-fi, because it's more distant from our world, while sci-fi is that whole maybe this will happen someday thing, you know. So I am with you, Anima, on that idea of separation from our world and escapism. But again, different people, you know. I mean, look how popular FIFA and other sports games are. Here's a weird sentence. Look how popular Farming Simulator is. You know, the tractor game.
Ooh. Yeah, no
7
thanks.
Res 2 are both the same.
But yeah,
Are they same engine? Here, come back to the shrine real quick. For some
Yes,
reason, Resident Evil
please.
7 felt a little more really looking to me. I mean, I know they're the same engine. I could figure that out, I should say. But, I don't know. Maybe it was the first-person perspective in Resi 7 that just made it feel more realistic. Resi 7 to the same engine, I think, new Resi games. So. And yeah, they're going for a more serious tone is very obvious because I think they did what they could with the first games, obviously, but then the later games, like with the parasites and stuff, I was like, there's no sense of this could happen, in my opinion. Because scientifically speaking, the parasite aspect doesn't make sense. While a virus kind of thing, for some reason, makes more sense to me. And I think in a game where you're dealing with blood and gore, and you want that blood and gore to be horror as opposed to just an effect, it needs to look realistic. And so I think that's why. Like, if you looked at the stuff for the new Mortal Kombat 11 coming out, that stuff's looking fucking good. And it's got a very realistic approach to it with, obviously, the fantasy setting. That's why I tend to play more retro games lately. And I will agree with you on that as well, Therion. A lot of games, by my opinion, have done graphics over substance. I think that was a big problem with Final Fantasy 15 until they really patched it up and made it really this phenomenal game. But the very first patch of the game was still really good, but lacking. You know, missing plot holes. I don't expect these plot holes that we had in Final Fantasy VII in a modern game. I just don't. And Final Fantasy VII had great reasons to have those plot holes. Again, it was console swapping and things like that, and time restraints. We know how much time they had on Final Fantasy 15. Plenty of time on Final Fantasy 15.
Too much time, almost.
Yeah, I think it was a great game. I'm just very sad that we're not going to get all the DLC that we were originally told, because to play as Aranea, God, that'd be fun. And though we all know we'd all be playing around with the camera control stick a bit more than we should. Let's be completely transparent here. But yeah, and Therion, though, you obviously can see that I play a lot more retro games on my channel, and that kind of is factual for my just playing video games in general. I like it. You know, and it's what helps old games hold up well, too, that, you know, Breath of Fire 3 never went for realistic graphics, so they still actually look pretty good. I love the sprites that have minor movement. It's kind of like playing Pokemon, you know? The sprites barely move, but they look good because they weren't trying to go too far. Speaking of, I want to do a Pokemon Let's Play again, like a Nuzlocke, like a solo one, so Lady Friend and I seriously need to get up on that recording again, but as I told Jim on the Discord, she's just been pretty stressed with work in terms of just not liking it, and I get that. And so we're just kind of, you know, hanging out together after we both get off work, and I think that's okay for now. You know, I've got other stuff on the channel, and we will get back to it. You know, her and I talk about it, but I'm gonna go for nightly mental health over a recording in her case. And
Smart
hey,
move.
Valley of the Kings, this is where the quest says we need to come.
Oh, little dude man in the middle of nowhere with all the
Oh, hi.
mutant lizards around him.
Pleased to meet.
That sounds safe. Sounds so safe. Yeah, the retro games still hold really well, even though I sink so many hours. Yeah, they really do. I want to know. Hey, can you, Ethereum, can you look up what this spell piece is for? Head of a spell scroll quest item. Is it something I've missed? Oh, hey, oh, is this the final portal of this act?
Really?
So maybe the first act is just super fucking long. I mean, we also did a lot of side little dungeons as well. Until we said, hey, let's do a few less of them. Appreciate it, Therion. And by the way, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I'm just like, if I click off, it like freezes the game and it's weird. So know that I do really appreciate it. It's incredibly helpful.
It's almost having like a active Siri or a Google Home.
I don't think I'll ever have one of those in my home. I just don't
What?
want it.
Why is that?
It bothers me. Like, I am one of those people that do think that robotics and AI systems can eventually get out of control. Because if our goal is to teach them or to get them to the capacity where they can learn, then that means they can learn anything without the right firewall or the right system. But if they can learn, then the idea would be that they could also learn to get around their firewall, because computers only do what we tell them to do until we build them to be able to, you know, get around that. And that's what I just think is a worry, because once something can, you know, you see the movies where like they quote unquote become sentient. I don't think they'll ever become sentient, but they'll have an AI system that makes them believe, that makes them think they are, kind of thing. And I think that can be dangerous, because then we have to get in the morality system of it, of, you know, do they have
Movies
rights,
like,
do they not?
Like Her, Bicentennial Man, and iRobot.
Never saw iRobot. Was Bicentennial Man the one with
Robin Williams.
Yeah,
Yes,
I saw
it was.
that one years ago, so I don't remember it well. One thing I do agree with, though, is I was reading an article on child development, as I do, and they were talking about a father that that would just like boss Siri around. You know, just be like, do this, you know. And she used to say, the little girl used to say thank you to Siri, and the dad's like, you don't have to say thank you to Siri. And so the child actually started pushing that onto people as well. So it's actually considered a good thing for parents to teach their kids to still use manners and be respectful to things like Siri and Alexa and all that stuff, because to them, little kids don't understand that this thing's not alive. They don't. They think it is a living creature, like their dog, like their mom, like their teacher. Okay, Act 3, awesome. Thank you. So, you know, that is the important thing, and some psychologists think it's a dangerous slope. You start giving this kind of humanistic autonomy and respect to robotics, while others just say it's practicing good manners. And I am on the side of, I think it's good practicing good manners. I mean, I say thank you to anytime something can talk to me, I will say thank you. I just think it's the right thing to do, which is weird, but it's kind of like goes with that joke of the whole, you know, like, well, he was the one that was nice to the guy that shot up the school, so the guy didn't shoot him in the face, kind of thing, you know, like, I'm not a big, like, conspiracy guy of, like, oh, the robots can take over someday, but I'm just a realist of literally our goals in robotics are to have free-thinking AI systems. So if you have something with free thinking, with free thought, then it can use that free thought to do whatever it wants, technically. So, you know, I just think that's a possibility, and I just hope that, you know, the right kind of safeguards would be implemented if that sort of AI is ever achieved. Do I actually think that AI will be achieved? Probably not in our lifetime, because that sounds really hard. I mean, I know the computer chip system is based off of the human brain, though it's not as sophisticated as it is, but maybe someday they'll get that damn good. Oh, hey, I found an intelligence-based helmet.
I can use a smart hat. Headdress of dexterity.
Oh no, robots taking over. Yeah. What would a soul stream be though without a really weird dialogue shift? Let's be real here, guys. It's like it's half of the reason my streams exist, so I can just ramble.
Yeah, I gotta say I'm on the other side of the coin. I definitely say please and thank you to all my iDevices, but my entire household is ran at the sound of my voice via my robotic slave.
And I think that's handy, but I'm also the one, I'm like, what if it just starts like doing shit? Because like I watch YouTubers like Dobbs and stuff where like they'll be recording Pokemon, and all of a sudden you just hear say Dobbs be like, Alexa, shut up, I wasn't talking to you. And I'm just like, that's also what I don't want to happen. Like it just trigger, like activate because I said something vaguely close to whatever it, you know, activates to. So it's
And
also that.
It happens
also,
frequently.
I like having responsibility in terms of I want my lights to turn on, I have to turn it off. Like I used to have a clapper and I'm like, I have a tribute points to use. Therion's right. And I'm still buffing energy.
I just peaked over 1,000, so I think I'm good on energy for the time being.
Yeah, I just peaked at 1070. Oh wait, I also have ability points too. Then. What was I doing
Nice.
here? Adds a chance to poison a cloud, or poison to cloud an enemy's mind, sending them into a state of confusion. I don't know about that, but oh, I can dare to do the shrapnel bomb. Yes. What are you? Bleeding damage.
Nah, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
I'm on my way. Oh, never mind. Anything in hunting I need?
Oh wow, they successfully kited all of them.
Nice.
I guess I underappreciate my little pet guys.
I think so. But that's alright. You used to place your normal attack every fourth. Now, blade honing while activated skill shot. Bladed weapon uses by yourself and that's not bad. That's another thing. Now, I'm gonna go into this. Deep knowledge of the enemy attacks can be directed to vital points of the body, increasing the chance and effectiveness. Okay, so it sounds like it'll also possibly bleed people. And if it doesn't, I'll be upset. Because I just sunk 2 points into it. Where did you go?
Top left.
I was trying to sing to you. Fine, whatever. I want to sing to you anyways. Trying to sing. Hey, look, an Ankh. Ooh, for...
Sete the First.
Okay, it's probably where we need to be.
It seemed like a good hint when the doorway or the stairway had torches in front of it.
Well, to be
torches
fair,
have
so
been
did the
kind of
last
like
one.
the compass.
So did the last one, though. The Corrupted Priest is a side quest that if we do it, we get 15k XP, but also a magical weapon. I want to see this. Brave Priest, Telki, pass through Temple of Seti. Unfortunately, the priest was defeated and transformed into some monster. Tell the priest some of what has happened. Oh, we finished it. Let's go port back real quick.
Porting back.
Where? Thebes, probably? Yeah, I think... Yeah, it says Thebes. So, you
found
Give me stuff.
enemy, truly.
15. Oh, God, that's not even a block. I got the Light Tectonics Staff of Essence.
I got of the same staff of ice.
Oh, then I'll just keep it to sell.
The bowls, I must
It's a
Well,
shade
sorry, this
weaker
one
than my.
It has a lot of energy regen. I'm not sure if you might want it. Also, minus 8% reduction to all requirements of, well, of that staff, I guess.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
I'll let you take a peek.
Sold on.
How's your wallet doing?
1.2 million.
Oh, I think we finally tied that one up.
You bought stuff. Also, here's some cool bracer thingies that give stuff.
I can't even pronounce that.
I can't pronounce a lot of things in this game. Either Egyptian or Greek, and I'm like, damn it, Bobby. Going back to my thing. Drink some of my
Slightly weaker than current gear.
I'll show you current gear. I don't know what that means.
Everything is just a shade weaker than what I'm sporting.
It happens. Little deadly hit. I should probably use that. Sounds amazing against bosses. Like, wow. Holy shit. I need to get that next level.
Which one's that one?
It costs 50 energy, and it deals plus 225% physical and piercing damage on hit.
Oof.
So, you know, it's a strong move. I mean, here's a weird question, but this goes to both you, Echo, and the folks in the chat.
Ooh.
What are you most afraid of in a fantasy sense? So not like, you know, dying alone or losing your loved ones. I mean, in a fantasy sense, what are you most afraid of?
Um, I think if there's one trope or video game theme that has ever really got to me, it was like a changeling. Like, say you go to bed next to Lady Friend and you wake up and you're like, oh, it's really good to see you, you know, and she's just like, I wasn't home last night. Like, I had to stay late at work. I text you. Like,
Oh, it's like
that.
that fucking story where the little boy's downstairs, hears mom calling from the kitchen, and right before he goes in the kitchen, mom from upstairs says, "Honey, don't follow that voice."
I heard that too. Yeah, that one gets me to no
That's
end.
like one of those 3-sentence horror stories that I think I read. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
pretty fucking scary. Oh my god, I made things spawn. I'm sorry. I regret my life choices.
Go for it. I'm right behind you.
All right, shrapnel now.
So yeah, there's the Changeling, and then we recently, me and waifu, watched the movie Annihilation, and I'm gonna do what I can to not spoil it for anybody, but it's a really good movie.
Annihilation?
Yeah, with Sandra Bullock in it.
You mean Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman. I was
I was
thinking
like,
of
Sandra
Bird
Bullock
Box
was
in there
Bird
too.
Box. Okay, I was curious about the movie where she goes in like another realm or something.
Yes, the Natalie Portman movie is definitely the one. There's a scene in it where one of the creatures that's affected by this other world really trips me out.
Okay. Yeah, I've been curious about that movie, so I want to watch it. Oh my god, and get my ass handed to me. I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, that worked.
My apologies, I was going for Looty before the booty.
Oh, you're good. I'm the one that ran in. I keep doing. Yeah. For me, it's Cthulhu stuff. Just because the whole cannot comprehend it, so your mind shatters aspect just gets me. Most specifically, Nyarlathotep, because he's the one that actually interacts with humans and works to sow chaos within people, as well as being the either brother or like nephew or something like that of Azathoth, and actively wanting to wake him up, which will end every existence. I just find the Nyarlathotep lore terrifying because he just doesn't care at all, and that to me is very scary.
I wish I could say I knew anything about Cthulhu lore, but you have me lost, sir.
Well, you should. You can start by watching a Let's Play of the Call of Cthulhu. That was quite good, though it's not exactly. It's not really informative, unfortunately, for the lore, but it's really good. But. Okay, let's not open that sarcophagus until we break the traps, because I have a feeling something's gonna pop out.
Yeah, this feels like a pharaoh. Let me get a couple heals in on you, too.
But Nicolas Cage is apparently going to be in a new readaptation of A Color Out of Space, which would be awesome. Because I watched film adaptation before and they were really good. And I don't care what to say, I like Nicolas Cage as an actor. He takes up a lot of weird roles because he needs money. But keep in mind, a good actor
Same.
can only do so much with a bad script. They can only do so much. If you want to see him in a movie with a good script where he did a good job, look at Face Off. I think that was a great movie.
Oh, I think that's one of the best Nicolas Cage movies out there.
I don't even like action films, but it was good. Okay, there was money. That's what was in this. Okay, that's pretty disappointing. Dreams that are too good to be true scare me. Okay. That sounds just like disappointing in life. Uma Furyu.
I have a consistent reoccurring dream that I have roughly once a month, and it's happened since I was about 20 years old or so. And you know, everybody has their morning routine. You wake up and you do the same 5 or 6 things almost religiously.
Yeah.
Mine is I wake up and I pick up my phone and I check my little bank account app so I know money's all in the right place and doing its thing where it should be. And in my dream, I'm checking my bank account on my phone, and it just has an absurd amount of money in there, like millions on millions, more digits than my phone can comprehend. And I get so excited in my dream, I wake up and it's not happy, and I'm then pissed for the whole day.
Oh man. That's sad. Let's see. Mine is kind of weird, but it's when you look in the mirror, but you see someone else in the said mirror. That is pretty creepy. I'll give you that. I've never had that. Nicolas Cage is great. Yeah, he's been in a lot of shit, but he's always entertaining. He is. He's a fun, entertaining dude. Now, come on, guys. Who else did you get to watch a movie that says, we're going to steal a Declaration of Independence? Like, he didn't even want to say that line, so he made it fucking clear that he didn't want to say that line. And I love it. No, he's fun. He's really fun. I mean, people love John Travolta. I prefer Cage over John Travolta. To be fair, I've never seen the famous one he was in. Pulp Fiction, that one. Never seen it.
I've never seen it either, even though it's on Netflix and on my to-do list. I've just never done it.
Netflix? I should probably watch it then.
Just so I can get the culture references?
Yeah, like I want to know the whole John Travolta just kind of like looking around like he's lost or something meme, because I will watch an entire movie just to understand a meme. That's my commitment to the meme life. Like, you don't even know how much time I spend on 9gag. It's atrocious. And some people are like, you go on 9gag, I go on Reddit. I'm like, cool, you're better than me because of a website you use. Good job. You're like, well, they start on Reddit and they end up on 9gag because they steal. I'm like, cool, 9gag's really organized. Reddit's actually confusing because there's too many subpages. It's like 4chan. You don't know where you're going. It's weird. Pulp Fiction's a pretty good movie. Starts a little slow. I mean, a lot of movies start off slow. Like, I like Snatch a lot, which starts off pretty slow, but oh my god, it's feckin' hilarious. I knew you would like Pulp Fiction. You like Die Hard. I don't like the Die Hard films. Again, I don't like action films, traditionally speaking, so it takes something extra, usually comedy, like in Snatch, to like an action film. But again, that's just my preference. And I got into an argument with someone because I was like, I think there's a real underrepresentation of great fantasy films. And they're like, what are you talking about? They started naming off all these like fucking sci-fi. I was like, those are sci-fi films. There's so many more major blockbuster sci-fi films than there are fantasy. Do you know how long it took us to get Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings? Yet we had how many Alien movies? And I don't mean just the Alien series. I just mean Alien movies. Not that there's anything wrong with those, but I love magic. Like, I would love to see a Magic the Gathering television show. You know, a movie wouldn't be able to do it justice because there's huge story arcs in that game. And I would love to see them in like an animated series. Speaking of sci-fi, though, oddly, there's that Godzilla that's been on Netflix for like a year now. They came out with Godzilla 1 and Godzilla 2, and number 3 recently came out, and they finished it. It's good. It's good. I mean, there's a lot of whole let's do a bunch of repetition to break up time, but it's still really good. I love Godzilla because it's like a mixture of, it's a lizard, it's a reptile. That's why I love it. Okay, that's why. Home of Ram. What?
Did we short track the other one?
No, we're just looking for the guy in the Valley of the Kings. So maybe he's in one of these tomes. I don't know.
They just had to plug some more important pharaohs in there.
Probably. Yeah, I do need to watch Pulp Fiction. That's a definite. Yeah, that will work for Magic the Gathering. Apparently, a movie is doing. What else? That's the thing, though. There's just so much. I don't want to see a movie. It's kind of like Mortal Kombat finally did amazing when they did Mortal Kombat Legends in a series, because they could really throw in a lot of needed information. Each major character got their own backstory episode. It was lovely. It was great. You know, because some things just have, especially when things exist for so long, you need basically lore episodes. And you can't really do that in a movie. Not well, at least, typically. So.
After being spoiled by being able to binge watch entire seasons of shows, I feel like some movies move just way too quickly.
They do. They really do. Like The Magicians is a pretty damn good show. And it's a great book series, so, you know, having it as a show. Also, the main blonde female with the glasses who's like a prude throughout, I think it's hilarious that she wears like the skimpiest of skirts. But I also do not mind because, gosh, she's attractive. Like, really, really attractive. They're supposed to be teenagers. Yeah, they all look like they're in their early to mid-20s. They don't look like teenagers. Thank God, by the way. That
Good
would
save.
be pretty bad if they did. And I was saying those same things. But no, if you've seen the Magicians, or Magicians, whatever, that lead female, whew, that's the thing. Like, since she does act kind of like a prude, I think it makes her more attractive than the other girl that is very, for lack of a better term, promiscuous and is fine with it. I just tell people, if that's how you want to be, that's fine. Just be safe about it. That's basically my PSA for promiscuity. Just be safe with it. There's a lot of diseases exist out there, and they nasty. Thorns, you don't need that. Actually, they still attack you, so I should have let you get it. I'm sorry.
Oh, I got it. Don't you worry.
Oh, you did? Wow.
Oh, nope. I lied. No, I have it. Sorry. Oh, I don't have my health aura on.
I don't need to do streams with people that are going to lie to me. I'm just
sorry. I'm also getting my ass kicked if it kind of balances out.
It does. It makes me feel a lot better. But I'm trying. I'm hitting these things for 85 damage.
There's just so much. So many.
There's another obelisk down. Yeah, because the transparent skeletons, they disappear when you kill their obelisk. So that's why I just go for the obelisk right away.
They always manage to get in the way of my ranged attack.
I'll say, yeah, I'm having a hard time targeting there. I'm targeting the obelisk, not going to move my mouse. There we go. Very good.
Poisonous throw stick.
That sounds fun.
I don't think my character is strong enough to throw a stick.
It's from the fishing game in Breath of Fire 3. Excellent. Things like that. Aetherion, be with me on this one. That's like the best fishing minigame of all time, am I right? I think it's better than Final Fantasy 15's fishing minigame. It's basically...
I hated fishing in that game.
In what, 15?
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was fun. I honestly, I'd sit there and fish for like an hour every now and then.
I couldn't do it. I think I fished twice, caught 2 fish.
For me, it's just relaxing.
The fish for the cat quest and the port, and that's it.
I like that. Cat's cute.
It's like, you know what, cat? I don't like fishing, but I like cats, so I'll suck it up for you.
And however much money it costs if you don't do that, because, it's super good food. Or am I mixing up quests? Probably am.
Oh, I don't know. It's been a hot minute. I played that one vanilla, and I haven't turned it back on since.
TP? Which one is Legend of Zelda TP?
Twilight Princess.
Oh, the one where you're a dog? Yeah, that's the one that made me just say, fuck this game. I think it's because it was so different from Ocarina of Time, and at that point in my life, I wanted the same thing, and it wasn't even close. I didn't even play Majora's Mask because of reading in the review guides that they're like, yeah, you have a timer, and I was like, fuck that shit. I'm so slow at these games. Like, I suck at Zelda, by the way. Like, I'm bad at it, but I have a lot of fun with it. Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, my jams. I played a lot of Link to the Past, actually.
Majora's Mask is a timer only in Spirit. You're really not timed because you can go back whenever you want.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I wish they would have told me that when I was like 11. And now I don't have a 64 emulator. Nor would I know if it would work well because of the controller I have. Obviously, I have an Xbox controller. It's very different from the... I guess you could use bumpers for A and B, and then let the arrow keys be your normal keys. I don't know.
It would still be a pretty rough translation.
Yeah.
Possible, but not impossible.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd like to play some... Like, I'd love to play Gauntlet Legends. That would be a stream game. That would be such a good stream game. Especially if you use, like, a software that let people in to play with me.
Oh, absolutely.
Fun. And Basic Brit and I have done that. I can't remember what the thing is called, but it let me get onto his computer basically and use my controller for his, and we played Fallout Brotherhood of Steel together. on a PlayStation 2 emulator. It was lovely. I really want to get back into that with them,
Greetings.
but time sucks.
Yeah, becoming adult sucks. Stuff gets busy all day, every day.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Oh, my goodness.
I'm
126 health,
full up on
51%
junk.
health regen, 78 energy regeneration, absorption of spell energy, and less damage from plants? Have we fought plants yet?
Spoiler, we might in the future.
Probably. I'm really curious where the next act takes place, but if anyone spoils it, I'll be mad.
Yeah, please no spoilers. I'm enjoying this.
Come
I've stopped playing it on the side on my other character right when I got to Egypt, so I didn't ruin anything in Egypt. And watching these scorpions pop out of the ground scare the crap out of me. It's been a hell of a lot of fun.
Where are you?
I had to go back. I'm full up on
Oh,
junk.
okay. Well, when you return to me, there will be a
Stuff on the ground.
coronal of glory. Yeah, I use a wired Xbox controller as well. So yeah, I should try. I mean, I don't know what I'd want to play on Nintendo. Also, isn't Nintendo like super weird about people let's playing their games, or is that just like when it's they made the game, like Mario and stuff? Because I know you can play Pokemon because that's Game Freak.
I don't think I've seen any problems. I've seen Mario Maker Let's Play, Mario World.
But I thought Nintendo was big on copyright infringement, where they just like monetize it away from you. And my channel's not monetized, but oh, they used to, but not anymore. Really?
That's good. Free publicity.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. You know, I mean, these content creators, you know, they are basically adverting the game for people. You know, I like to believe that most people are not like me, in that they will utilize a Let's Play to not play the game themselves all the time. However, even that mentality doesn't work. Like, I never thought I'd play Dragon Quest 8, and then watching Mage do it, and then watching him do 11, I was like, I need to play this game. And now it's so much fun.
I don't think these guys are hurt by fire. I'm not doing much of anything to them.
They changed their policy when the Switch came out? That's cool. Oh, speaking of Switch, I might be getting an Elgato. Because our good friend Grim here apparently bought one a long time ago and has literally never used it. And he has offered to let me use his. I'll be paying for shipping, obviously, so he'll know where I live. So maybe he'll end up outside my window. I don't know his life. But yeah, if that goes down, which he sounds pretty serious about it, I will finally be able to Let's Play Ni no Kuni. And I could do a Pokemon playthrough, and I would honestly, Pokemon Let's Go is the perfect Pokemon game to do a bug catcher playthrough without cheating. Because if I want to do a bug catcher playthrough in any other game, it's either Red and Blue are the only options, or, you know, Fire, Red, Leaf, Green, or, you know, hack Pokemon in, like I did with the Lady Friend one. And I don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to be like, oh, I'm going to get a Paris here, or a Weedle there, or a Ladyball there. Even though I'd love to do later gens, because then I like Ladyball, I like Spinarak. But, you know, you can get a Weedle and Caterpie early on, before you need to do any real battles. Then you can get Venonat pretty quickly above Misty's gym. You can get a Paris in Mount Moon. People always forget that Paris is a bug type, but he is so good. He learns Slash, he learns Spore, which is a 100% accuracy sleep move, as opposed to Sleeping Power, which I believe is 70%. And he just has a great attack power. And you can get a Scyther and a Pinsir, I believe, outside of... I've seen Pinsers, but I haven't actually seen Scythers. They might be gen exclusive, but I could always, you know, Pokemon Go Park a Pinsir in, or a Scyther in if need be. What is it? What am I getting at here? Yeah, you can get them to the east of Fuchsia City, which is further in the game, but not the worst. And yeah, you can have a pretty solid party of Beedrill, Butterfree, Venomoth, Pinsir, Parasect, and Scyther. I think those are all the bugs in Gen 1. I think.
Sorry, friends. Rampant coughing fit.
It's happened, so no problem.
I've always been a big fan of all the ghost types. I wish there was an early ghost type in any generation that you could pick up early.
I mean, Lavender Town's not that far from the beginning. It's only after the third gym.
Definitely possible.
However, I don't really like Gen 1 ghosts. Like, I don't like Gengar, but I like Haunter a lot. But I don't like that the poison type. So, because the one thing they're meant to be strong against, which is Psychic, fucking bodies them because they're poison typing. This is a big door. Hold on.
It's gonna hurt.
I'm gonna put on this heal over time for us. All right, let's do this.
Okay.
Hey, you look
sarcophagus is open.
Did you get bigger, or are you just a different one? Why are you? Oh my!
Oh
Did
dear.
you use your plague thing?
I'm currently unspec'd from plague at the moment.
Oh, wow. Okay. Actually, I guess that's fair. If you're not using if you're not buffing it, it's gonna fall off damage-wise.
Yeah, I used those 2 ticks to get my life drain just be a little meatier.
I keep throwing poison shrapnels at this guy. Yeah, I'm huge on bug catchers. I love bug Pokemon. I know they get a lot of flack. Not a lot of people like them that much, but they're fun. And it'd be a good challenging run because you don't get Mega Beedrill until the Elite Four. I'm not sure if it's before or after. Mystical Orb. Wow.
Ooh.
Things like Parasector quad weak to fire, while Butterfree is quad weak to rock. Things like that. Ooh. Fields. I'm gonna drop this staff for you.
Woo, sticks.
Bloodstone. Piercing resistance. Leech life resistance. Leech life over 3 seconds. Oh my god. Yep. I'm wearing that. Okay, what am I getting rid of? Robust Ring of Spirit. You can fuck off.
And I get 0
niece.
useful upgrades.
Nice to see you again, buddy. Glad you could make it this week. Taking
Welcome
off
back
a
to the
certain
party.
ring that gave me 14% increased strength made it to where I can no longer use these new shields that I picked up.
Womp womp.
I like the Mega evolutions to an extent. Like, visually they look great. Mega Beedrill looks awesome. But yeah, it's very Digimon-y. But I do like it. It allowed them to extend very beloved Pokemon without giving them like a final evolution, another evolution proper. So I think it was a really cool idea. How would you check flying and fire? It'd be difficult. Basically, let's say I was fighting a fire type or something, or flying type, I would basically just need to destroy it. Most flying types, in my experience, don't have like the greatest special defense of all time, so Venomoth would probably be my go-to with his strong psychic attacks, or poison stall people. Even though he's and then Beedrill's a glass cannon, he hits really hard, but still it takes damage. Take the strange tablet and meet Emotep and Thebus. Okay, let's go to Thebus.
Bloop. Teleportal. I like that those are unlimited.
That's the thing, Anima. It would be a big challenge, and I like that. Pokemon is something I've played since I was like 8 or 9 years old, so I need a good challenge. Where is Emotep? First, let me sell some shit.
I don't haggle, sorry.
Correct, but about the flying types, but Beedrill is special. Mega Beedrill becomes the fastest Pokemon in Gen 1. Mega Beedrill will outspeed an Electrode, who is the proper fastest Pokemon in Generation 1. So for him, you'd be going off of speed and just hoping to obliterate.
Good riddance.
So it's a gamble. It's a gamble, really.
Hit first, then hit fast.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, I found the crony old man right over here.
Hi, Emotep.
You defeated the Telkin?
Yes, I did.
Excellent. Perhaps there is hope yet. You defeated the Telkin?
Scepter of
Excellent.
Eternity. Born from the Eye of Chaos in the Hand of Balance, the scepter seems to tremble gently with the vast power it... Very cool.
And I believe that ticked you over on a level as well.
It did. So let's, at this point I need some strongs. Okay, I got to 200.
2 extra skill points in there too. You should have 5.
I didn't like the Z moves, actually. They were annoying to me. I prefer Mega Evolutions.
Alright, the next skill I'm going to aim for is Overgrowth off my Sylph. It gives allies near damage absorption and a chance of retaliation. That's my next goal.
Pretty good.
In 3 levels, so eventually, friends, eventually.
Wow, best weapon for Hunter? Oh, bow? I'm not using bow. I'm using a ranged weapon still. I'm using the Rungu because it's currently stronger than any of the bows I've found. But I'm also using a spear, kind of hybriding within the melee and ranged of the Hunter aspect because Echo is playing as a mage, so we do need melee to an extent.
And I am uber squishy.
Yes. And I'm not incredibly tanky because I also went down the rogue tree. So that's kind of a scary thing. Like if I'd gone Hunter defense, oh, that would have been amazing. But I didn't, so.
Oh, here's a nice little feature I forgot to inform you about. My last 6 skill points went into the cooldown of my heal, so I now heal 48% faster.
Nice.
Seems like it's kind of tapering off on the amount that it can recover.
Huh. So Y just goes to my second page of skills. Am I missing something? Nice? Or nice? Oh, here's a Frostbite Shrine we can use.
Frostbite, I'm on my way.
Oh, shit. I didn't move you, so you're suddenly coming in. Let me do that. Alright, muted. But that's actually good to know. Now I didn't realize it was Y to switch that, so now I can start utilizing a second bar if I want to. Which I might at the moment I start getting new skills, which I think I will in the near future. Wow, the music suddenly got a lot louder.
I still don't have enough skills to fill up my toolbar yet. I think I have 3 open slots still.
I have quite a few. To be fair, some of your skills are like summon and then passives for your summon that they activate on their own, while mine are all either actives or passives for current actives.
I have heal, 1 damage skill, 3 summons, and then 2 auras. And that's it.
Hatchet split. I can't do this
Hatchet
Egyptian stuff. Nice. A bunch of things swarmed me as my poison bomb grenade went off. I'm gonna assume we have to go up these huge stairs.
I like how this game does a really good guide. It's a gentle guide. Like, it'll always point you in the right direction. You're never lost for more than a couple seconds, you know?
Yeah.
An intuitive map.
Ooh, a star. And I like the verticality to this game. Like I said before, Diablo, just basically you're on a single plane the whole time. While in this game, there's a sense of verticality.
Oop, we got specters summoning. Oop, I made a mistake. I drew them all.
You would.
No, attack
Trying
the
to kill
spearman.
this King of Nubia. Alright, we got that. Now I'm going to go for their obelisk. Ooh, that new attack is good. Ooh, baby, I like it like that.
Bow, 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 bow.
Different song, but still works. You went for Smoke on the Water.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait, Deep Purple? Which is fine. I like me some Deep Purple, especially things like Highway Star.
I think that's one of my favorite subtle jokes is even different topics like coworkers will be like, "Oh yeah, did you catch the Super Bowl?" It's like, "Nah, man, I don't watch hockey."
I just use the IT crowd joke. Would be like, "Do you want to see that stuff?" Be like, "Yeah, ludicrous display." I've been doing that for years. I'm just like, sports. I don't care. Kudos to you folk that like sports, but I literally have nothing to say about them. I guess I do, actually. I saw there's a bit of a controversy about the whole they didn't call pass interference or something on the Saints. And so I saw the clip, I was like, I don't watch sports, and even I know that that should have been called, because that was just, he destroyed him. Okay, this music, again, is suddenly loud, but it's really cool. Massive stone door. Want to look at the left and right first?
Sure. You go left, I'll go right.
Emptiness.
I found a wall.
Oh, me too. SpongeBob.
At least it's
oh,
symmetrical.
SpongeBob and Patrick. Oh, if we do a co-op again, we should do that. One of us be SpongeBob and one of us be Patrick. This the
Oh, that'd
Krusty
be
Krab?
rough.
No, this is Patrick. That's one of my favorite. One time somebody called me like, "Hi, we're looking for Scott." I was like, "No, this is Patrick," and they're like, "What?" Oh, it was fun. And I was just like, "No, this is me. Sorry." And they're like, "But you said it was Patrick." I was like, "Sorry, I'm still immature at the age of 29."
Growing old doesn't mean growing up.
No, it does not. My uncle was a motor racer. He did Speedway, which is a motorcycle sport where basically your knees like almost touching the ground as you go in a circle, and it looks terrifying. And he was, at the time, I'm not sure if he still is, the only American to win the world title in Russia. So that's cool. I don't know
That's
much
one hell
about
of a trophy.
sports, but I'm like, okay, cool. My uncle's one of the best in the world at his time in a certain one. That's neat. And apparently, like, I've met a few people that are into, like, motocross, and this is in Colorado now. And they're like, I'll be like, I don't really know anything about this stuff. But my uncle, he did really good in Speedway. And they'll be like, oh, what was his name? And I'll say his name. They'll be like, that's your uncle? I'm like, you know who he is? It's just Uncle Ron to me.
Oh, they hurt. They hurt so bad.
There's sports anime? Like, the
Oh.
closest thing I got to playing a sports video game was Blitzball. Because let's be real, Blitzball is great. And if you don't
Hell
like
yeah.
Blitzball, why are you even playing Final Fantasy X? Sure, it's a good game, but I mean, I've literally played Final Fantasy X just to unlock Blitzball in its proper form. I'm like, I need to get to the airship so I can do Blitzball the right way. To be
You want a
fair, there's
fun
an anime
challenge.
for everything. I've seen an anime where it's like all about cooking. I mean, I haven't watched it, but a friend of mine says, this is so good. I was like, I'll just watch the Great British Bake Off because I want Mary Berry to be my nan. Sorry, Nana, move aside. You shop at Costco and just bake things now.
You know, if there was a way to watch Mary Berry go Super Saiyan as she pulled out a quiche, I would definitely watch that.
All I know is that if I ever got to bake something for Mary Berry, I would be so afraid of that soggy bottom. I'd be like, I don't want to disappoint you. You're so nice. And even in the newer seasons, I really like Prue. I mean, I like Paul, but like he is intimidating. Like in the baking world, he's intimidating. Like I've watched that man bake bread and other things. He is so good, so fast, so precise, and I'm just like, no wonder all these contestants are intimidated by him. And then let's be real, his eyes are just a little too blue. Like, those are some nice eyeballs on that man. You know, you gotta be able to admit that. Ooh, an experience shrine.
Yeah, I think
like,
watching all the contestants get the teary eye when he finally extends the handshake in a
Oh,
good
the
job.
Hollywood handshake.
Yep.
Yes. I love the Prue Pat in the newer seasons. I will say, as much as I love Sue and Mel, having Noel Fielding as a host, that man is just a special kind of comedy. Just last night, a friend of mine sent me a meme of Noel Fielding as old Greg, and it was just like the upper body, and he was in a pond with Aquaman, and he just says, "Hey, what you doing in my waters?" And I was just like, oh god, this is how Aquaman dies. He gets enslaved by the mangina. I'm old Greg. I said that to someone once. They're like, you know what But the Mighty Boosh's, I was like, not every American is uncultured. Come on, guys. Some of us do our research.
Oh, but far too few of us.
Yeah, his that's the thing. His comedy is right up my alley. I've always really loved that really strange and
Dry.
very dry, which is more common in British comedy from my experience, from watching their television shows. There's a lot more dry comedy in there than there are in ours. I'll say
Absolutely.
Friends was a great combination because you had dry humor characters like Chandler. He was also very sarcastic, and I love that. Kind of reminds me of Dylan Moran a little bit, but not as good as Dylan Moran because I got Lady Friend and hooked on Black's books, by the way, so I've been enjoying my nights lately. But yeah, Noel Fielding has a very unique approach to comedy, just like people like Dave Chappelle had a unique approach, and Richard Pryor, and who's the angry old guy that's dead now? Richard Carlin, something Carlin. I'm terrible with names.
I don't watch hockey.
Yeah, there you go. But he was great. I loved Mitch Hedberg. He was super fun. And his speech patterns really made it as well. The way he spoke was just perfect for his weird comedy stylings. I don't like these constructs.
I don't think my fire does anything to them.
I think it does, because I'm doing fire damage, and I'm doing the same amount of damage to them as I am others, but they just have so much HP. That's the thing. I'm hitting things for like 80. I'm hitting them for 80, but their HP goes down a lot slower. But they are immune to my poison, which makes perfect sense.
That would probably be a little bit more realistic, because I think my staff is only shooting for 25 to 30 right now.
Rigid.
It would explain why I can't see. Whoop, made a mistake.
Mate yourself? What? Oh!
Oh.
Yeah, I went there. I hate to say it, but the more comfortable I get with people, the more of the hard humor I get on people.
Oh, no worries. That's usually how my social circle works. Waifu's favorite pastime is, in fact, busting my chops.
Chops must be busted. That was one of my favorite episodes of Scrubs, where like the janitor was just doing weird stuff, and people like look at him and be like, "Why?" He's be like, "I'm busting chops today." I loved that janitor. I like how he wasn't meant to be in the show past season 1, yet he ad-libbed so much during this episodes that like people loved him, and then he just became the super great. What the fuck is that? He's level 28. I was like, why is his name in red? Because he's above our level. Yeah, that's a good idea, Theron. They are probably more resistant to magic damage. Oh, we're whooping this dude's ass. A Sand Wrath Lord. I want to look at him. Oh, hey, you have 4 arms. I dig it. Dude, look at his head. It's badass. He's got, like, badass horns. Ice monster. Babylonian Greaves. Where was Babylon?
I don't watch hockey.
Anybody know where Babylon was? Throwstick of Frost. Hold on. Probably not as good. Let's find out. 157. Yeah, I would lose a lot. To be fair, I have that one. Oh, I don't have that one enchanted yet. Holy shit. Babylonian Greaves. They are a set piece. Strength, health regen, offensive ability, moves. Yeah, I need to get my... Oh my god, 223. I gotta boost my strength. Wait, didn't I keep that strength ring? I think I sold it. Shit. Damn it, Echo. Why'd you let me sell it?
I have a 15 strength ring if you want it.
Okay, this really is like Diablo 2. What do you do at the end? Near the end of Diablo 2's Act 2, you insert a scepter in something to open up something.
Sounds familiar.
Portal to Babylon. Rise, Babylon. Actually, that's Rise Avalon in that song, but Babylon works. Pre-Ottoman thing? That makes sense. Do you want to enter the portal to Babylon? Wait, is this Act 3?
Ready, fire, aim. I don't know.
Ready, fire,
It kind of
aim.
felt like a boat sequence. Yeah. What would they say in
Sickle of Kronos.
Samurai?
I thought
Aim
the
small,
portals
miss
were in
small.
the Temple of Martu. There is
No,
no
that's not
time
Last
to
Samurai.
spare.
I don't know where that's from. Yeah,
We are
we
in Act
popped over
3.
to Act 3.
Okay.
Yes.
And there's only 4 markers in this one.
I want to keep these Babylonian Greaves. They're good. They're a good upgrade for me. I just need to get up to be able to use them. What sucks is the enchant they have would give me the strength to be able to use them.
Womp womp.
Almost. Like, oh, I'd be off by 2 still. Unless I have something that's already giving me percentile strength increase. I could. Oh, can you drop all your relic things so I can combine them all?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not exactly matching, especially with this helmet. Like, I look weird. Oh, hey, thanks.
Matching is for the fashionistas.
That won't let me use it yet. Shucks. Oh, there are a lot of things here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 portal destinations. These buildings almost look Asian. Tropical spiders? You didn't sign up for spiders. Where's the caravan dude? Oh, are those Sahuagin? Yes, they are. Sahuagin-esque. Oh god, my poison vial does a good job now. Because it also does piercing damage. Wait a second. I need the caravan person. I can just go to another fucking act. I'm dumb. Oh, we're in the Orient. Ha! Aren't you not allowed to say Oriental anymore? Like, someone told me Oriental is offensive now, and I'm like, I remember seeing Chinese restaurants saying Oriental restaurants when I was a kid. Like, I can't keep up with PC stuff. Like, my goal is never to offend someone, but I mean, sometimes it just seems like it's so easy to offend someone if they want to be.
I do everything I can to be politically correct, but I am so far out of touch with all that.
I mean, I try to be nice. Like, if I know something's going to offend someone, I'm not going to say it. Because that's just being a douche. If you know it bothers someone, you shouldn't do it. And I think that's how it is the case with anything. Whether you agree with it or not, don't do it. But some things I can't get on board with. Like, a year ago, I was told that hermaphrodite was not politically correct. And my response was, that's the scientific term.
Yeah,
That's just the scientific term for the very few people that actually are born with both pieces. Incredibly rare condition, but it happens. But I'm just like,
I think I'm with you on that one.
hey Tyler. Oh hey Ashton, I don't think you should jump onto the desk right now, sweetie. Go like hit buttons that you're not supposed to hit. I'm trying to bother the cat so she walks away.
Oh, the cat. I was concerned for a second that might have been Lady Friend.
No, she's at work today. Ashley, I can't see my screen. Sorry, guys, I can't play at the moment. There's a cat in front of my screen. Hi, sweetie buns. You have a nice face. Is the edge of Asia technically as part of the Babylonian Empire was in Turkey, which creeps into Asia. Okay, that's pretty cool. I dig it. Mama's pants, off the desk. Off you go. Keep going. You don't like coffee, stop sniffing it. Okay, now I can see my screen, but I can't see chat, so, if you guys say anything, there's a cat button your way. And she's gone. Bye, Miss Pants. Have fun doing what you do. Alrighty. Yeah, nothing really big there, so we don't have to do those. Let's see. Orient. But yeah, I got really mad when they told me that that word was not PC, and I was just like, nope, you don't get to mess with scientific terminology. That is disrespectful in its own right. So, that was my thing. I was like, you can break it down by Latin roots. It's not slang or anything. Where are you going? Bye. I miss you.
Bye, pants.
Hey, buy pants.
I said bye, pants.
Wait, was there a rebirth fountain that I didn't see? Oh shit! Walked right past that thing. Boom. Yeah, you can't satisfy everyone. You're right. And that's the thing is a lot of things I believe intent when it comes to social aspects, I think intent should be what's the word? Should be
Valued?
no, I mean that, but it's not what I'm going for. People should try to understand the original intent before getting uppity about things. Because I've already told my story about calling someone sir, and they were identifying as a lady, and I was like, okay, that's fine. But they got like super uppity about me because I didn't know. But then a transgender customer that we had in that store all the time that was currently in there just like shot him, was like, nope, you don't do that, you don't bother. No, he didn't know, you don't make our community look bad. And I was like, thanks, John, you are a great example of how to be a nice person.
Good save.
And so, I mean, John was a person that, you know, was transitioning and still looked very much like a man, but dressed in female clothing. Hey, look, fucking plants. Plants. Dude, they look badass. I want one. And I think that's a good example because, you know, things are not going to work out how you want. And I think social evolution takes time kind of things. So, you know, people have to get used to things. Like, we have a transgender person in what I call the mage community, and very open about it, and very accepting of people not always knowing what kind of terminology to use. And to me, that's one of the best things you can do when you're trying to gain an awareness and acceptance for any particular community that is new in the social eye. I know these things aren't new technically because people have talked about it for years. You can actually see these kinds of things in history books, though it's worded differently because, you know, they had to worry about not getting killed a little more often back then. But
a little bit.
But, you know, it's still new to the public eye. And so, you know, it will take time. And I think in time, it'll be fine. And my whole thing is, if you're a dick, you're a dick. And if you're nice, you're nice. That's all I really give a shit about. When it comes to how I'm going to treat you and judge you. Oh my god! I'm gonna die. Talking to people is hard as you are more than likely to go to offend someone someday. Yeah. And I've definitely offended people over time. Dude, this thing is, it's just like blue text for days. 38% cold resist, 37% reduced freeze duration, 20% chance of 15 bleeding damage retaliation for 3 seconds, 20% slowed attack retaliation for 3 seconds, 17 damage, 105% bleeding damage, 23 dexterity, 1 health regeneration per second, 23% health regeneration increase. Woo! And I will lose +1 to all hunting, but that's fine. I don't care.
Seems like a fair trade-off.
Yeah. And Theron, or Anima, that's a good way to look at it, is that you can't read someone's mind. So, based off how we've been kind of socially trained to, if you look this way, I see you as a woman. If you see this way, I think of you as a man, kind of thing. If someone is going against that current social norm, I think there needs to be a level of understanding of that. You know, I've always found it odd when a new group expects mass adaptation from the masses instead
immediately.
Immediately, instead of giving them time, as well as what I told one person when they were saying I needed to be more understanding. I said, okay, then help me understand. Teach me. There's no fucking pamphlet. Teach me. Or don't bitch. That is your option right now. Because if I don't know, I don't know. And here's the thing. It is not my job in life to do research to better your life. I'm not a research scientist. I'm not a sociologist. I'm here to help little kids learn math and stuff and how to be a basic human being. But it's not my job to learn the intricacies of a new movement, of a new social adaptation. It is that individual group's job, in my opinion, to inform the masses. What did Dr. King do? He informed the fucking masses. He didn't sit there and expect, that's a big ass frog. But I mean, I like to use Dr. King as an example so often because he was such a good one. He knew he was in for a difficult time. He knew that he had to work hard to get people to understand. And is it is it fair? No, of course it's not fair, but a lot of things aren't fair, and that's just how it is. You have to work with that. It doesn't sound nice, but it's realistic. I do like to be nice to people, but I more so live on the is this realistic kind of thing. So yeah. It doesn't always sound nice, but if you actually think about it, it can, for a normal person, I believe it can be deemed fair and understandable. And it's basically like the original civil rights movement, which was they figured out that they had to work their asses off to be treated the same as white folk. It's not fair that they had to, but they realized they did. Another thing that some people get angry about when you're ignorant to something that you know nothing about. Yeah, I think ignorance, there's too much hate against ignorance these days, and you know the argument can be used of, well, you have the internet, so you have unlimited resources, but here's one resource I don't have unlimited: time. That's what I don't have, and that's the thing. Yeah, it's not common knowledge. I have to do research to learn some of these things, and here's the thing: because I do have transgender friends. I have a lot of friends in the LGBT community. Though I let them know well and good that if that acronym gets any fucking longer, I'm giving up. So I guess there's a Q at the end now, and I was like, I thought queer was... But I guess it's questioning. I don't know if it's queer or questioning for the Q, but either or, I'm just like, LGBT, that's long enough, okay? You get so many so many letters before it just becomes difficult to say. But, you know, that's the joke I play with a lot of my LGBT friends, is that I refuse to allow the acronym to get any longer in modern conversation. And they're like, yeah, it's getting pretty out there.
There's only so many letters you can add before you have to start calling it a word instead of an acronym.
Yes. I thought acronyms had to stop at like 5, but apparently not. Like, I didn't think that was like an official rule, but I thought it was like a socially agreed upon rule. It's like, it's a word after 5 letters. Where you're just like, I can't memorize this acronym, which is meant to be memorizable. Memorable. Memorizable. Wow, I feel like George Bush. I will say, I miss George Bush. Not as a president, but as a man that's just made up words on a whim. Hey, terrorizers, we're gonna get you. Words a president should never utter. Because terrorizer is not really a word, I think. And if it is, it's one of those questionable ones. Though I did recently have a professor tell me it's not smelt, it's smelled. And I was like, it's either. Please do a simple Google search and learn the difference between American and British English and how both are actually acceptable in American English, and one is just more common in British English. I think it's smelt. Brits. There are a few more letters on the end. Yeah, see, there's even more letters. I can't memorize this shit.
Now, are you talking about smell and smelt as in, like, fragrances? Or
yeah, as in, like, the past tense of
iron?
smelling. And that's why. I mean, the thing is, smelt is the past tense of smell. But it also is a word for, you know, metal. Smelting. I know you're not supposed to use the word in the definition, but I did it anyways. But it's smelled. I believe smelled with an ED is an American creation. And I think smelt is what was used in Britain for a long time before that, but I'm not sure. Maybe, to be fair, English is a weird language. Road, R-O-D-E or R-O-A-D. 2 completely different things. One is a past tense word, while the other is a noun? So it's like, it's weird. It's weird.
It's weird. I love it. I hate it.
Yeah. Well, hey, Cinema. How you doing, bud? I haven't seen you. But yeah, I mean, that was just talking about how you can actually have the same spelling, yet the word will mean something different. Live and live.
Wind and wind, wound and wound.
Are those sounds spelled the same too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you just bat my arm? I'm sorry, Miss Pants, but that was mean. No, don't jump on my lap. I have to pee. Don't do it. It'll make it worse. Oh, by the way, chat, now you know I have to pee. You're welcome. I've completed your life. by giving you that nugget of knowledge. That's a fun sentence.
Nugget of knowledge.
Yeah. Jinx, show me a coffee. I don't drink soda.
A nugget of knowledge or a smidgen of wisdom.
That doesn't rhyme as well, though. I like
Nugget of knowledge.
alliteration quite a bit. Really into alliteration, which is why I love Dragon Quest stuff so much. Like, alliteration is just like, Anima, don't let that knowledge get out, okay? I like people to believe that I'm one of the reptile folk that they think all of our politicians are. I may not like our politicians for the most part, but I don't think they're lizard people. That one's a weird one.
I don't know. It seems like they're struggling with the appropriate color of human skin.
To be fair, one, I think, is trying to become an orange. And others just stay indoors too much, just like myself. Like, I'm very pasty. I can burn by looking at the picture of a sun.
I'm just hoping next year for Halloween, you know, he gets the green dyed hair and the white suit.
I believe he doesn't have a sense of humor. I literally have that belief. Because I think he's too busy loving himself to laugh at anything. Because, I mean, he could have taken that SNL stuff on the chin and made it a great joke, because Obama did that really well, because that man's ears are ridiculous, let's be real, and the way he speaks, I think he's obsessed with the idea of pausing. Let me tell you something, America. I believe that we as a country, I believe that we can come together. Something like that. I can't do his voice, but I can do his speech pattern to an extent. So, I mean, there's plenty to make fun of on him, and with Bush, it was obviously how he spoke as well, and his ears too, actually. But they took it on the chin pretty well, and Trump just got offended by it, which was weird, because he talks about people getting offended. Yeah, I liked Obama for the most part, but the pausing was just, I was like, hurry up. If Obama was president now, I'd be relating him to an NPC in Dragon Quest. Because holy fuck, they talk slow.
I'm sure it was one of those situations where it's like, all right, you have a 9-minute speech, but we only wrote out 4 minutes, so you got to figure this one out.
And he's like,
I got this.
What the fuck?
Creeping slime. Magical.
I was like, it's almost like Cthulhu-esque, but not quite. But not quite. Okay, I think this is where we need to go, because there's a rebirth fountain. But yeah, I do think Trump could have saved himself a lot of grief if he had just kind of taken some stuff on the chin instead of getting uppity. And this next part I'm going to say is not meant to be a political statement by any means, but I have noticed that for the most part, I'm going to refer to Facebook again because I have a lot of Republican friends on Facebook. I'm not Republican, by the way. I'm also not Democrat, so I'm neither. Complain about, you know, snowflake leftists or just snowflake millennials, and I'm like, you're a millennial too. Don't forget that. Sorry, guys, we went to high school together. There's a thing behind us.
Hero,
but, you know, they'll sit there
nice.
and bitch and moan about people being snowflakey and being offended. And then that one dude decided to take a knee during the national anthem, and I saw some of the biggest snowflakes in my life. And I was just like, snowflakery, if you want to use that term, doesn't have its only snowflakey with this subject, but it's offense on that one. I don't know. I'm registered as an independent, which means I don't get a vote in the primaries, which sounds very undemocratic to me. It sounds very weird to be like, hey, you're not registered the right way, so you don't have a choice at the beginning. That does sound, to me, it sounds very wrong, but it's what it is. But yeah, I've learned for myself to only get offended if it's literally personal. Like, I've had people challenge my intellect before. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm the smartest guy ever, but I'm a smart guy. I've done very well academically. I've done very well in school with very little to absolutely no studying. The praxis exam, which is basically the bar for teachers. If you don't pass it, you can't become a teacher. It's that style of test. I've had plenty of friends that have studied so much and they vomit. I took it But I tried to study, and 5 minutes in, I was like, fuck this, I'm bored. And I destroyed it. Like, I got perfect scores in 2 of the categories and a near perfect score on another. I leveled, yay, thank you. And so, for me, I think that comes off as my learning style, though, is that I'm one of those people that if I can get it once, I'm basically set. Unless it's like something that needs repetition. Like, I do need to practice mathematics. Because math can be complex. What was I doing? Strength? But I've had people be like, challenge me on certain things and try to make me seem stupid when I'm not. And I'm like, this is an opinion conversation. Neither of us are technically right or wrong, and you're calling me stupid at the same time. It's not how discourse goes. And so, that's when I would actually get offended, is when my intellect is called into question when they're talking off of an opinion. But if a dude doesn't stand for the national anthem, that's his call. That's literally just his call. I don't care. You know, and it's bothered me because, like, people got mad at him for doing that and said he has no right. And then there's like, oh, it doesn't belong in football or in entertainment. But then, like, some country star makes, like, some big old political thing and people, like, fucking want to suck their dick over it. I'm like, make up your mind. Which one do you want? Do you want entertainers to be political activists or not? Because it's all or nothing. Stop picking and choosing. It's my same issue with my family on religion. They like to pick and choose. You know, they like to hate gays but get divorced 3 times kind of thing.
Yep.
That's what they like to do. I'm pretty sure the whole divorce thing is talked about a lot more in terms of we're going to kill you for doing that in the Bible than a couple of gay folk.
Absolutely.
Where are we? Oh, there's something down. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, I get mad at both sides. I basically, when it's like just Democrat or just Republican, I'm mad at them either way, because I'm just like, just work together. That's how it's going to work out. I see the government finally opened up again. That's...
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I missed that news.
And it's only till like February 8th or 18th, something like that. Like minimal, but
Taxes.
I'm like, hey, these people need to get paid because that's fucked up. If you work in a prison and you haven't been paid for a month, but you still go to work, what the fuck? My dad was a prison guard for 20-something years, so that's actually a personal note for me. And I remember him not coming home sometimes because there was a riot at the prison. And I didn't know if he was dead or not because, you know, they can't talk to you when shit like that's going down. So all I get on the news is riot at Sentinella Prison or riot at Calipatria Prison, depending on which one he was at the time. And I'm like, so, my dad alive or not? Because I don't always know. And so for me, that's a problem, that people can be doing such a dangerous and necessary job and yet they don't get paid. And that really bothered me because when I heard, this is a personal Trump thing, when I heard him on the news with his face say, just have garage sales to get through this tough time. How about they get paid by their job? To not have a compromise that got these people paid, that and the border wall are 2 different issues. They should not mingle with each other, but they did, and that was just sad. Too many people with important jobs not being able to support their family. Or hell, live the life that they just are supposed to be living based off the job they're doing. You know, there was one news article where a guy, his son was turning 2, and he's like, I can't buy him anything or do anything for his birthday celebration. I was like, not a necessity. He's 2. It's fine if he misses something, but the idea behind it was the sad part. That it happened because, you know, 2 different sides can't agree on something.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that was a bother because I'm like, I would stop going to work if I got paid, and I love the kids I work with. I adore them, but there's still a level of I need to be respected in what I'm doing to keep doing it. Because it's also not an easy job. This is hands down the hardest job I've ever had. I have worked in an auction house company where it was my job to... why is my game freezing? Okay, it froze. Yeah, that was
And
big.
froze painfully.
Yeah, I had a job where I was an auction house company. It was my job to, at one point, we went to a bank that closed down, and we had to move its, 2.5 thousand pound safe kind of stuff, clean everything, set things up for auction. And we had to do this for pizza joints, messy things, lots and lots of manual labor, whether it's tedious cleaning, fixing, and moving. I've worked in food service. I've worked in grocery stores. This is by far the hardest job because it's so mentally taxing. You don't get a break with these kids. Even during nap time, you don't get a break because it's constantly like, hey, you need to relax. Your body needs to rest, and all they want to do is fucking fidget. And in the last 5 minutes of nap time, they want to fall asleep, and so when it's time to wake up, they're super pissed off. It is the hardest job I've ever had, and I think it'll remain that as a teacher in any form. Probably shouldn't stand in that. So, I had one dad come up to me the other day and he pissed me off. It snowed outside, and all the playgrounds covered in snow. Hey, there's a stairs down here. Level 3.
I like
Temple
stairs.
of Marduk. And so the rule for our school is if it is below 32 degrees, which is freezing, the kids cannot go outside for safety reasons. And also, if there's snow cover everywhere and they don't have snow boots, they can't go outside. This child,
Makes
no
sense.
snow boots. He's also the first or second child to constantly ask us to go inside because he's cold. This dad comes to me, hey, did you guys go outside today? I was like, no, the high today was 33. And that was like at noon when they were asleep. And he's like, well, he has a really hard time. He gets really difficult at night if he doesn't, go outside. And I just looked him right in the eye. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, but I know what it's like to have 25 kids that haven't gone outside all day. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm sorry. You have 2 children, sir. And at that point in my day, I have 25. You're not going to win this argument. The whole you're the parent thing doesn't win this fucking argument. When it was our outside time, it was 28 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not taking the kids out. They will not have fun. They will stand there, even though I tell them to move and they'll be warming up and stuff. I don't know how hard your job is to see that your kid is 3 and 4 days time. Wow, yeah. Yeah, I mean, some of the Miss Pants, stop eating plastic. Stop it. Some of the parents really appreciate what we do, and they understand that this job is stop it! That this job is far from easy, and some see us as glorified babysitters. Here's the thing, though. If they want to see me as a glorified babysitter, pay me. Babysitter makes an average of $30 an hour. If I made $30 an hour per kid, oh my God, I think it's like $800,000 a year. I would be a glorified babysitter in a heartbeat.
I would change careers tomorrow.
But instead, I'm babysitting and teaching them at the same time. We're learning math. We're learning how to write. Not just our names, but actual words. We're learning every letter of the alphabet, uppercase and lowercase.
Ooh.
We are learning to count to 120. By the state of Colorado, kids are not expected to do that until first grade ends. The end of their 6th year of life. Yet we're teaching them to do that by age 4. And yes, the brain it makes huge leaps. So doing that between 6 and 4 is like going between ages 12 and 18 in our adult life. Miss Pants, stop eating plastic. Stop it. Off the thing. I'm not any good at disciplining her. I can't discipline animals. I feel terrible. Wasn't another 20 like a few days ago? Yeah. I mean, we had basically a day-long blizzard a few days ago. What's first grade? First grade is 6 years old for us. We do kindergarten at 5 years old, and then by the time you're 6 years old, you should be going into first grade. Basically, the easiest way to look at it is kindergarten is 5, and then any grade is plus 5. So if you're in 3rd grade, plus 5, you should be 8. If you're in 12th grade, plus 5, you should be 17. And that's basically how the American education system works. I couldn't count to 30 till I was like 6 or 7 because my school had no expectations. One, education's made a lot of leaps. The expectations that kids have on them now are, in my opinion, too high. by third grade, my kids will be, which is what I aim to teach. My kids will be expected to write 6-paragraph essays. When I was a kid, we were only expected to write 3-paragraph essays. We were only expected to learn multiplication. We didn't start pre-algebra until 7th grade. Kids start pre-algebra in 5th grade now. And I think it's sad because they're kids. They need to be kids. And yeah, like I look at our curriculum. Yes, my preschool has a curriculum, which the state of Colorado does not, but we're a private school, so we've made one. It's a great curriculum. It has a lot of cool things. Yeah, I think it is excessive. We just had lessons on magnetism, learning the difference between pulling and pushing. Cool thing for kids to learn. Completely unnecessary. Not all the kids can write their name yet, though. Not all the kids can, count to 100 yet. Or even, well, they can all count to 20, which is already above kindergarten standards, but still. But not all of them can write their name. Not all of them can hold their pencil properly, which they need to be able to do by age 5. That's a big deal in child development. Yet, those things aren't actually in the curriculum. So, along with the curriculum, we are expected to give them what I call the necessities. So, oftentimes, I just don't do some of the curriculum.
I have a question for you, Soul, as one who educates the early years. How do you identify which children are left and right-handed?
They figure it out.
They figure it out, just whichever one it goes in best?
Basically, it's what they can color with.
I've never had that question around an educating professional at the same time.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not a choice. It's just what hand supports that section of the brain, really. So you basically give them crayons, and typically they will just grab with their dominant hand, whatever that hand is. Their dominant hand is chosen when they start to learn to stand, because they'll push themselves up, and they're not doing a like where your arms are even push-up. There's a stagger. And they typically will use their dominant hand in a certain position. And so their body and their brain starts to know what their dominant hand is. So when it comes to doing anything, they have this is the one I use first. This is what I pick things up with. This is what I try to manipulate things with first. And so it's just kind of they figured out for themselves. For kids that are ambidextrous, they're the harder ones to teach how to read and write, or how to write at the beginning, because they will switch back and forth. Therefore, the specific hands get less training, because there's still a lot of like minor muscle memory that has to be created in the writing process. And since they stagger it between the two, they're typically slower. I thought it was what you started with. Typically, a child will learn to stand before they can feed themselves. But the same thing, yeah. And most parents, at least in the United States, if they go to preschool, will learn to color before feed themselves. So that's why a lot of us use the coloring aspect. I'm sure some might use the eating one, but again, it's just which hand are they reaching out with is kind of how you know. Little boy is left-handed, but ambidextrous, but right-handed. That is, what the fuck? Is that a chimera? It is a chimera.
Oh, shit. Oh, that hurts.
Aren't chimeras, like, traditionally immune to poison?
I think that's because of the snake tail, yeah. They're fire, ice, and poison.
Well, at least he stops to do a cone. Okay, so he's got a mechanic that oh my god! Got my trap. I mean, here's the thing. That's my way of figuring out what handed a kid is. There are multiple. Because, it's when it comes to humans and even animals, there's almost never just one way to do something. Because, as I like to describe them, which people don't often like how I do it because it has a negative connotation in the word, but I don't agree. Humans are chaotic beings. We, in that you can't always expect a set way of things is what I mean. I don't mean like, oh, we're chaotic and that we're going to hurt things. I just mean we are unpredictable, especially when we're uneducated and ignorant, which that's what children are.
That's everything they are. That's the whole purpose of your job.
Yeah. And so, there's a lot of identification. I actually had a friend that we went to high school together, and I was like, hey, cool, what's up, man? Let's meet up again. It's been a few years, and he had a son. And so he was like a baby at the time in a thing, a carrier. And so nothing much to observe. But we met up again when his son was 3, and we hung out, and I watched his son, talked to him, interacted with him. A week later, I call him and was like, I don't want to be mean or a dick, but I think you need to get your son checked for autism. Guess who wasn't my friend for like a month? This guy. He was offended. He was mad. He was upset that I would say this. Understandably so. But a month later, he calls me, you were right, my son's autistic. And I was like, yeah, I wasn't saying it to be rude or mean. I was saying it because the earlier you address this shit, so much better off he is. And he is autistic. He's still pretty social, which is nice. But eye contact is still like not his forte, obviously. But there are a lot of social difficulties for him. And I'm just really glad that he respected me enough as a friend to listen, because had he not, his son would be a huge disadvantage. Like a massive one, because if autistic kids do not get the help they need, might as well say fuck you to them.
And then be humble enough to tell you about it.
Yeah. What's kind of cool now, though... Holy shit, we did. What's kind of cool now is that because of this, he's a pretty big advocate for vaccination, more so against anti-vaxxers, because as a dad of a child with autism, he can make the little argument of, you think your child becoming autistic is worse than them dying? Because that's the biggest argument against vaccinations, is they'll become autistic. Cool, just let them die instead. That's fine.
Hasn't that been entirely debunked as well?
Oh yeah, a long time ago, but sometimes people still cite Melissa McCarthy. I was like, yeah, let's listen to Playboy models for scientific advice. I just got a chakram. Here's the thing, even if there was a 0.01% that it did cause autism, I'd still vaccinate my kids in a heartbeat, because I don't want them to have polio or measles. Because guess what's fucking back in the United States? Measles. Fucking back. Thanks, anti-vaxxers. Appreciate ya. Dude, this chakram's pretty good.
Are they thrown weapons or melee weapons in this one?
Thrown.
I dig it.
I lose a little bit of DPS, but here's the thing. It looks cool. So.
Aren't chakrams in the other game you're playing? I forget the name of it.
Keys of Amalur? Yes, but I've yet to get any. I've yet to find any, and I really want some.
I think I played a short dose of that game back when I had a 360, and I got some fancy rings that I was twirling around, and then I stopped playing for some red ring of death problems.
Yeah, I don't know why I stopped playing Kings of Amalur, but I did, and I'm like so glad I'm Let's Playing it now, because it is a pure joy to play. It literally looks and feels like I'm in the World of Warcraft world, but with
a wise man would prepare himself well for
a solo style mechanic.
Go safely.
Oh wow, we were right out of town, and I ported to another town. God damn it.
We were? I think I did the same thing.
I hold chopsticks, I'm pretty sure, I mean, I was taught how to hold chopsticks by my step-grandma, and so it's hard to actually figure out. Let me see, when I don't have them. I basically hold them like I hold a pencil. My pinky and ring finger are held together, and the stationary chopstick lays across my ring finger on the far left. I'm right-handed, by the way, so on the outer left side of the finger. And then I hold the other chopstick between my thumb and index finger, with usually the middle finger kind of pressing against the index finger, and that's how I manipulate. I think. Get a pencil. Yeah. Another pencil. I hold these things.
I'm making the hand motion, and you're describing exactly how I hold chopsticks.
So
how do you do it differently?
So pinky and ring finger are pressed on top of each other. I have the ring finger on top of the pinky, and that's where the stationary one sits. And then the middle finger sits on top of that stationary chopstick to hold it in place. And then the other one is pinched by my thumb and index finger, and that's how I do it. But the middle finger is in a bent position while the lower fingers are straight, so that the middle finger doesn't get in the way of the actual stick. Again, I'm sure people that have watched my channel know this. I learned to use
The
chopsticks
fool
before I
saves
used
gold. The sage trades gold
forks
for
and
hard
knives and spoons,
iron.
because
Safe travels.
especially as a baby, I was raised very much on like an Asian style diet, Korean style diet, I should say, because of my my stepdad and my step grandma. So, yeah, fun stuff. This kind of feels like a good place to call it. I know it's early; it's only 2 hours, but this cat really needs some attention.
Perfectly fine by me. I think we made some big progress. Moved into the next act already, so Act
Yeah.
2 was a lot quicker.
Yeah, it was. Atherion, I am very glad that you vaccinated your child, because I was afraid when I was scared when I learned that anti-vaccine is not just an American thing, that it is happening in the UK, is happening in parts of Europe, is happening in Canada, and I just think it's sad because there's no valid and approved information out there to say that we shouldn't have it. Some people, the biggest things I hear are either people that are afraid of government or believe in the autism bullshit.
Tinfoil hat, people.
Yeah. Either way, thanks guys for coming to watch. Sorry that again the conversations get weird, and I do hate it when the conversations get political because I don't like that. I basically just get upset over political conversations because rarely is there a good thing to say politically speaking. It's just a mess lately. For a lot of years lately. But yeah. Sorry about that again. Hopefully I can contain that next week and we can just, shoot the shit about SpongeBob and random things. Well, if the conversation's gonna be like in my Let's Plays, I think those things are... Here's the thing. I think I'm funny. I might be wrong, but here's the thing. I make myself laugh, and at the end of the day, that's good enough for me because my job is not to be a stand-up comedian. So if I make myself laugh, I'm quite happy. And if I can make other people laugh, that's fantastic. But, as I've always said, at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourself. Unless you're a parent, then you clearly have to take care of them. That's my rule. You can do everything you want for your friends, but at the end of the day, you have to make sure you're okay. A depressed person should not take care of a depressed person. It's that whole blind leading the blind aspect. But yeah, take care of who you can, Anima. I think it's a great thing to take care of people, but sometimes people will do so much to where they themselves will become severely depressed or will have not taken care of themselves to where they can then no longer take care of anyone else either. So there is a stopping point where you have to make sure that you are okay. I just think that's a very important thing for people to remember, because I was the guy in high school that always wanted to help people be okay, so I didn't focus on me being depressed at all, and it got to a very scary point for me. So had I been taking better care of myself and being more aware of my own issues and stuff, I probably would have had a much better teenage year.
Yeah, that expression, take care of number one, isn't necessarily an arrogant or egotistical thing. You got to take care of number one, so number one can take care of everybody else.
Yeah, you could use the same thing for objects as well. What's the point of installing a great lighting system for a road if you've let your road fall to cracks? You have to take care of the initial thing before you do anything outside of it.
But I dig it.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. That got an oddly serious note, which has happened before, but yeah. Anima, that's an amazing way to say it. Don't push it to the limits. Don't push it to any limit that you can't. Know your boundaries, understand your boundaries, and take care of everything within those boundaries. Because at the end of the day, if you're so busy taking care of other people, you then also cannot expect them to take care of you in return. So that's also a way of looking at it. I don't think it's a pessimistic viewpoint. I think it's a realistic viewpoint as our world becomes both more connected and more distant at the same time. We're doing a lot of that.
What about a light note for the end? Did you ever hear the joke about the airplane?
I'd like to.
Oh, you probably shouldn't worry about it. I bet it went over your head.
Everybody, as this act was really short, I'm going to kind of assume that the other acts are also going to be shorter. I think I remember reading something like that somewhere. So start thinking about what you'd like me to stream next. Eventually, I will put up a list of what I'm in the mood for. But you know, my kind of thing is I want to stream things that I don't feel make great let's plays because chunking them doesn't work. You know, so things that play better um, in big bulks like this. You know, Telemachus, Skyrim, or the Pathfinder Kingmaker video game, which could also do like Neverwinter Nights or something. But you know, just think of things because I think in the next 2 to 3 months, I'm sure there will be a new game at that point. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching and joining us in the conversations. Echo, thank you again for gaming with me. Always a pleasure.
Thanks as always for having me. I appreciate the invite.
And everyone, until next time, bye bye for now.